Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from yourblackworld.com, and I'm really excited today for so many reasons. I'm in my new crib in Chicago. I live down the street from Barack Yvette. Yvette, you're there. Did I tell you that I live down the street from Barack Obama?
Yeah, you did. You did. That was curious. That was interesting.
I know. I was driving down the street and I was like, wait a minute, this looks familiar. That's Barack's house. So I was thinking that I could go by his house and we could have like a grown-up slumber party, or I could go borrow some sugar from the Secret Service agents that are around his house.
Oh, you'll see the Secret Service agents. Secret Service agents.
Yeah, I'm sure they've already seen me. I'm sure me moving into Barack's neighborhood probably made them a little nervous. But you know what? Actually, Louis Farrakhan lives closer to Barack than I do. I live like maybe less than 10-minute walk away, like 4 blocks up. Mm-hmm. He lives like a 4-minute walk away. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I know, right? It's nuts. So now that I've told everybody where I live at, I hope no crazy people are watching, because I don't let crazy people in my house. So if you're crazy, you can't come visit. But anyway, today you and I wanted to, first of all, we're excited because we're back, like we're doing a video again, which we did before, but you know, we run Your Black World on a budget, and the budget did not allow us to upgrade our technology. So if anybody accuses us of being spoiled elitists who are being paid off to say the things we say, you're lying, because if that were true, we could have afforded like a $50 software program to do what we do. But we're very proud of what we have here, because freedom has infinite value, and this is one of the few places where you hear free black people speak up. Now, Yvette, today I called you this morning because I was asking you about this thing with Saturday Night Live and Kenan Thompson. He's kind of the chubby guy who's on the show. And Kenan had basically said something that was really, really uncomfortable and disturbing about black women. A TV guy had asked him, why they don't have any black women on Saturday Night Live. And he gave an answer that was kind of strange. I mean, what do you remember about that story? I'll let you talk.
Well, I remember that he basically said that the black comedians who come in and audition basically aren't ready for prime time, that they aren't ready. And that was part of the reason that Saturday Night Live hadn't added a black woman to its cast.
Okay. Yeah, and I just found that to be kind of odd. I mean, and he even made a comment about how they hire smart, talented people, or that the people that they brought in this year are smart and talented. They all happen to be white. And he says, well, I guess those are the kinds of people that they bring in. In fact, I should quote him exactly so that I don't, get accused of misquoting him. But, if people could read about it on Your Black World. But, it was a really, kind of awkward quote. Let me see here. I'm looking it up here. Give me a second. I'm going to actually search for the keyword so I can tell people exactly what he said. Yeah, he said, they asked him about all the white cast members that they're adding this year, and all of them are white. And he said they're all very, very smart and talented. So that's how it is. That's the kind of people, I guess, that get the job. And so effectively, right after you're explaining why there are no black women on the show, first you say that they're not ready, and then you say that they bring in smart and talented people, and I guess those are the people who get the job. I wasn't happy with what he said. I felt like that was a real affront to black female comedians. I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think it wasn't a front. I mean, if you look at the comedians, if you look at the job that Wanda Sykes did on the Chris Rock show, if you look at the job that Aisha Tyler is doing on the talk show, and then she has their own little Archer show, the little cartoon show. If you look at a lot of black comedians, a lot of them are ready for prime time, and those who aren't ready for prime time, you kind of wonder what kind of opportunities that they have had to prepare them for prime time. Have they been on this show? Have they been on this sitcom? Have they been given the opportunities of other white comedians? So when you think about that, you wonder, first of all, if it's true. You wonder if they do come, because I haven't heard that from anyone except Kenan. So you wonder, first of all, if that's true. And if that is true, you wonder how that happens. Because for me, it seems sort of like an excuse. We heard the same excuse during the tech Silicon Valley whole dispute about black people in tech. You heard that from Michael Arrington that, well, there aren't any black entrepreneurs or black entrepreneurs just aren't ready. That's the excuse for not having diversity as well. If black people were better at what they do, then we would have them. And if you know any of these people, you know that they are good at what they do and that this is just an excuse not to bring more of them in.
Well, I'm in agreement with you. I think that his comments were incredibly disappointing. I've been a fan of Saturday Night Live for a very long time. You don't like the show as much as I do, but
I don't like it at all.
Well, you know what? I think the show is funny in its own way. It's a style of humor, right? One thing that we have to agree on is that they produce so many stars, so many people that have gone on to do great things, black and white. And what I thought was so funny about Kenan's comment is that it'd be different if it were coming from a truly talented actor. Kenan, for a long time, and for him to say, "Oh, we only hire smart, talented people," that's an odd comment from him because he's not that talented. He's gotten better, but he was the weakest link on that show for a very long time, and now he's finally coming into his own. But I mean, if you compare him to Chris Rock and Eddie Murphy and even Tracy Morgan. He's not in the same stratosphere. I mean, he hasn't really blossomed out of that role. This might be the best that he ever gets. So I'm arguing that I wouldn't be surprised if he got that opportunity because he knew somebody or somebody hooked him up. I don't think he got it because he was just the most talented person at the audition. I just don't believe that. So I think that black female, for them to say that we can't find talented black female comedians is horrible. They've only had 4 black females on their show in 38 years. 2 of them were only there for 1 year. In fact, one of them was dropped mid-season back in the 1980s, early 1980s. So there's no excuse for this. I mean, they've given us 38 years of evidence to show us that they exclude black female comics. And black female comedians deserve opportunities like everybody else, and they're just as talented, just as hardworking, just as prepared. And it's unfortunate that he would even allow himself to be used to make such a stupid comment. I don't even think the white comedians would have said something that stupid. So you get that black face out there, and you let him speak as the black representative. Well, this is our resident black guy who's going to explain explain our racism away. I think that's even more insulting. I mean, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have been as insulted by it if he had given me something to support it. If he had said, the person who cast people in the show has told me or whatever. But he just kind of put it out there as well. We don't have them because they're talent, but there's nothing to really back that up. There's nothing to really back up that statement. And I don't know whether he thought of it and didn't think about that. But if you're going to tell me that the black women who show up just aren't ready for prime time, I'm going to need a lot more than your personal assertion. If these cast members have been brought in, to actually talk to you, that's another thing as well.
Turn that phone off. Is that your third baby daddy calling?
I don't know. These phones, I just can't. Too many phones. I got the iPhone. I got too much going on.
Oh Lord. Well, just for the record, Yvette has no baby daddies. So she's. I don't want to put out that false information. That never happened. Not like Adrian Peterson. you saw Adrian Peterson, the NFL MVP. You see, like now that. The unfortunate thing happened with his son passing. Like now his dirty laundry is kind of coming out where all these people are kind of talking. Yeah.
I'm sure he's not the only one.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, all these magical kids keep coming up. Like there was one, first of all, the 2-year-old. Yeah, nobody knew about the 2-year-old first. Even Adrian didn't know that he had the 2-year-old, and until the poor little boy had been harmed by his boyfriend, his mother's boyfriend. And then another baby's mama pops out of the woodwork on Twitter, and she's a stripper going off saying he doesn't take care of his kids, he doesn't ask what they're doing in school, he doesn't know about his kids. And then there was one in the New York Daily News that said, oh, by the way, Adrian Peterson has a 3-month-old that nobody knows about. So anyway, I didn't mean to divert too much from that, but just speaking of the whole baby mama thing, it's interesting to me because, when the incident happened, Adrian was asking for privacy. And so it's funny because I almost wonder, did he want that privacy because he doesn't want people poking around in his business, or what? But beyond that though, that's just kind of an aside. But we don't condone baby mama-itis, on this show. So anyway, but going back to the reason that I reached out to you today, do you think that this is something that should just wash over, that people should just forget about it? Or do you think that maybe, more voices should speak up and kind of say, okay, Saturday Night Live, you need to reflect on what you've become and whether or not you are serving the black community. And we can decide if we want to even support your show. I mean, do you think that there's more to it, or do you think people should let it go? Or what do you think should happen?
I want to hear from female comedians. I want to hear from female. That's who I want to hear from. I mean, those are the voices that we really need to hear from that we haven't heard from. I want female comedians to tell me whether or not they think they're up to par for a Saturday Night Live gig, and if so, why? And if not, why not? What are the reasons that you think you wouldn't do well, in that audition? And I would really like to hear from them, because you hear a lot, you hear a lot about the Kevin Harts and, Eddie Murphy's a legend, but, you don't hear as much about the female comedians. They don't seem to have black female comedians as much of a voice. So I really would like for that particular, segment, for that particular population to speak up and just kind of tell us about what they go through and what they deal with. That's who I want to hear from.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, what's funny is that, and you and I have seen this a little bit, as I guess, I don't know if you'd call us activists, or just, I don't know, just people that try to speak our version of the truth in the black community. A lot of times you'll have people who will be in a certain space, and they'll send a little text message or an email, to one of us, and they'll say, can you draw attention to this issue or draw attention to that issue? And like, for example, there's a prominent journalist who said, well, that there aren't any black journalists who have nighttime shows on any of the major cable networks. So you should talk about that. And I remember I texted the person back and said, I'm not your puppet. Why don't you go talk about that? Why do you want me to go out here and fight the battle that you should be fighting for yourself? If you can't speak up for yourself, then why the hell do you think I'm going to speak up for you? No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So I think that the same thing is true here. I think that, on one hand, you have people that are walking that thin line that says, well, I don't want to get blackballed in the industry. I don't want people to think I'm a troublemaking Negro. But I hope people talk about this. I hope people bring it to the forefront so that I can benefit and step into that opportunity. And I understand that to a point. But at the same time, if you're not willing to sacrifice for your own freedom and your own opportunities, then don't ask other people to do it for you. So I agree with you. I think this is a great opportunity for black female comedians, and they can reach out to us at Your Black World. They should speak up and say, this is what I'm going through. When I auditioned for Saturday Night Live, this is what happened. This has been my experience, and we will be glad to let them use our space as a chance to share their voice. But I agree with you. I think that we have to hear from them as well. So I'm going to shut it down now. I'm so happy to get a chance to talk to you face to face, Yvette. It has been nothing less than a complete pleasure.
It's been too long, I know.
Absolutely.
We got it together now.
Yes.
With the exception of of everything else, the technology. We're a little rusty, but we're back.
Well, you know what? And I shouldn't say too much, but and I'll share this like openly. I don't think I've even talked to you about it, but there was actually a small television network that reached out about me doing a show, and I think that you and I kind of doing that show together might be enough to make me want to do it. It's not a big network, but it has potential, and I can't say which network it is, but they want to do like a Your Black World kind of show. And I think that what we do, and we've had people approach us about shows before, I guess from what we do online, but I'm thinking like that would actually be kind of fun, because then it would give me a chance to yell at you every day instead of one day. That's what's up. All right.
Hey, I'm down with it. You down with it. We can go.
Yes. In case people don't know, Yvette is my partner in crime. You mess with Yvette, you are messing with me. And so anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. Thank you very much, Yvette, and thank you all for checking us out. And thank you for checking us out at yourblackworld.net. And until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.